Hello everyone, welcome to Cupixel Studio. My name is Haley and I am here with you live to create some fun, unique, abstract art. This is actually called neurographic art. It's very simple, no skills, no experience required. All you're going to need is any piece of paper. I prefer mixed media paper because it's a little bit thicker. Okay. So we won't be using that one because it's probably dried out. A fine point pen or marker. I'm using a dual-tipped one. I'll be using the thin side. And then any coloring tool of your choice. I have markers here. These are water-based markers from the Cupixel greeting card set. So if you have that, you can absolutely follow along with me and using those, or you can use whatever coloring tool you have at home. And yeah, no pencil, no eraser. We're just jumping right in. We're not going to worry about how it looks. That defeats the whole purpose of this kind of creation. So here with me in the studio is Nick on camera.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. I've got Matt on TikTok Live.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, TikTok Live. And we've got Shirley on support.
Hey.
Hey.
Actual support.
On actual support, yeah. Matt's here for emotional support, Shirley's here for actual support. So Spaces is coming very, very soon. Then we can, connect in real time, and you can share your artwork. You can ask me questions there, comments, concerns, say hi, all the above. But for now, in the meantime, if you look at the top right of your screen, you'll see a little question mark. That is chat support. So if you have any questions about the live, what I'm doing, or you just want to say hi, go ahead and tap that, and Shirley is here to relay any questions to me or answer any of your questions. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with the pen marker. It's a marker. Let's call it what it is. And what we're going to do is just make sure that, you're in a comfortable position. I'm just going to keep this in the book, and I'm just going to start scribbling. So scribble for about 10 seconds. The bigger your drawing surface, maybe you want to scribble a little bit more. You'll have, a little more movement for that. And I'm just going to start here. I'm going to just not even look. I'm just going to go for it. Just little swirls and scribbles. That's it. So from here, we kind of look at where the lines intersect, and we'll kind of thicken them, round them out a little bit. So we have some more defined shapes. And if you feel like you want to go over your lines, you absolutely can. But the whole point of this kind of artwork, specifically neurographic artwork, is to, relax and honestly kind of even learn about yourself as well. We're creating with the subconscious here. So you kind of look at this abstract image that you just created, and you kind of find your own meaning and imagery in it. If you'd like, I won't be offended. You can feel free to mute me and put on some nice calming music, whatever really gets you locked in and in the zone. Sorry. Yeah, the silence is just, it cracks me up.
So you said this is from the subconscious. So is this come from some medical field or something? Do you know how this originated, this kind of art?
Top of my head, I could not tell you the person that came up with this. It was a psychologist, I'm pretty sure. It's a form of art therapy. With art therapy, it's not so much about diagnosing. It's just about communicating mostly to yourself what's going on mentally. So you kind of take your own meaning out of it, even little doodles like this. Great question. Great question, Nick.
Thank you.
So
Thank
here
you.
you have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any markers.
You don't have markers?
No. So
Or-
what do I do?
You can use anything you'd like. I would suggest you go in with the tool that is the most relaxing to use. So, for example, I am not relaxed when I use crayons. So I'm not going to use crayons for this. Something that's, I would say something that's kind of like smooth, something that glides across your paper. But yeah, pretty much just whatever you prefer. And you know what? Whatever you have, you can create this with anything. And if you don't have any coloring tool, you can just kind of turn it into like a little Zen doodle. So you definitely don't have to add color if you don't want to. If you prefer the doodling aspect of this, you want to build off of what we're doing right now with just your marker, you absolutely can. All right, so I'm going to go over my lines and get them nice and uniform. So do you see these little, like, where the lines intersect and I'm making the rounded out corners, kind of connecting them? This is kind of like the idea of like the neural pathways working together to, can you tell it's been a while since I've been in college? I studied art therapy, by the way, so this is very interesting and fascinating to me. But it kind of mimics what the art is actually doing, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That makes sense? Yeah. You're connecting the neural pathways.
We have a question from TikTok.
All right,
Also,
let's hear it.
what is your favorite therapeutic doodling technique? I usually go for the never-ending squiggle.
Great question. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. I'm curious to know what you mean by the never-ending squiggle, because I love doing like just continuous line. Maybe you're talking about the same thing. If so, hey, bestie. But yeah, I love just kind of like keeping my pen on the paper until it's like so full, it's not even funny. So that's when I'm like, I really need a break. Like I really need to just sit down and shut out the world. And it challenges me because as an artist, I need to make things perfect, if you can't tell by what I'm doing right now. And with that, a continuous line, it really challenges me because it's not about it looking good. It's about you feeling good. When you feel good, it looks good. Great question. All right, almost done.
Here we have a question about paper.
Mm-hmm.
You said you use mixed media paper. Can I use computer paper or any paper?
Yes, so if you didn't hear Shirley's question, she asked, somebody on support asked, if you don't have mixed media paper, can I use computer paper? You absolutely can. You can use anything you have. The reason why I like mixed media paper is because it's a little bit thicker. So when I'm using tools like markers, it's sturdy. The paper doesn't warp or anything like that, and it doesn't bleed through. But you absolutely can do it on anything, computer paper, a receipt, an expired check, I don't know. A napkin, yeah. Wherever, because sometimes you just need to relax, need to calm down, take a 5-minute break, shut out the world for a little bit. you can absolutely do that anytime, anywhere, with anything. So it doesn't need to be these tools. I have a question for my videographers here.
Shoot.
What you got?
What I got is, do you guys prefer watching or filming this kind of content as opposed to polished technical paintings and artworks?
Personally, I think because of how this approach is, naturally it's sort of unpredictable. Like you nor I know how this is going to completely turn out. So that's exciting to me in the moment. But I also really enjoy how, especially things like realism, seeing all the layers and all of the time that goes into them, even though it might seem more rigid or more orthodox, like the end result can be really exciting too. So I definitely appreciate both. But yeah, I do enjoy watching things like this in the moment for sure. It's very free and has no rules, so I do really enjoy that.
Cool. And are you on the microphone, Nick?
I am.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I'm going to repeat all that for everyone to hear. I don't know. Oh my God. Let me give you a brief summary. How about you, Matt?
To watch, I'd have to say the realism, more realistic type stuff. But to do, I think this type of more therapeutic, free flow,
Yeah.
yeah, more enjoyable, more
It
relaxing.
certainly is more
But
relaxing.
It's so impressive when you see a really realistic piece come together.
Yeah. That in itself is so satisfying. But I think it's so satisfying because it's so, you put a lot of like meaning and like pride into a work that you have a specific goal with. So when it comes together, wow, is that satisfying. Okay, so I am done with my marker, my pen, black marker, whatever. I put it to the side. It's just me and my swirls and my shapes and my colors. So something that you can do, and this kind of goes back to when Shirley asked if I don't have any coloring tools, what do I use? I don't have markers, what do I use? You can continue using this. First of all, you can stop here if you'd like and kind of take meaning out of your own abstract lines and shapes. Or you can take it a step further and using the same pen, you can go in each shape and, turn it into a recognizable image if you'd like. If you're finding that this is looking like something to you and you want to go off of that, you can do patterns, little Zentangle patterns and lines. It's totally up to you. I would just say, don't think about it. That defeats the whole purpose. So I'm going to go let's go crazy. What the heck? With some color. Nick, do you mind if I turn this over?
You should be good. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to work from left to right because I am right-handed. I almost said I was left-handed. That'd be funny. There's more, no, let me, I know. I was about to just straight up lie to everybody. I think I was about to say there's more left-handed people than there's right-handed people, but I think that's absolutely false. But
Only by a little bit.
I think that could not be more false. I think it's actually like 1% of the population. Huh?
Very wrong.
Very wrong. So wrong. But the older generation, if they were left-handed, they were forced to write with their right hands. So maybe that's why.
They make up 8 to 9% of the population.
Oh, yeah, almost more. Almost half. 8 to 9% of the population is left-handed, for those of you who didn't hear.
Right-handed.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Stupid. Okay. So, as I was saying, I'm going to work from left to right because these markers are water-based and super, super saturated. They stay a little wet. So if you were to rest your hand on a wet marker, not only would you get it on your hands, which is not the end of the world, you might get it elsewhere on your paper. So, but that in itself could result in some opportunities if you'd like. I'm not even going to think about what color I'm going to go in with in each shape, but I'm going to do a little bit of blending in some of them because it's relaxing to me. Kind of create a nice little color gradient like you can see in all of these shapes. But I think I'll keep some of them solid, unlike when I did that one. So dark blue, then light blue. Create a nice little gradient. See, isn't that satisfying?
I was just about to say.
Yeah, that's why I love using these markers for this, well, I mean, in general, yes, but for this kind of activity, because it's supposed to relax you. I could fall asleep after doing something like this. You know what? I often do. I often do this before I go to bed at night if I've had like a long day or if my mind's racing, which it often is. You can also leave some blank. I think I'll do that actually. Get a nice little cool effect because here, you know, all my squiggles, they were very contained and all the color is kind of sitting in one area. So there's a lot of negative space. So I'm curious to see what would happen and how I would feel if I were to kind of move it around a little bit. So I think the bigger shapes I'll leave blank and we'll see what happens. How rare is this, by the way? Me being this quiet.
I was just about to say, I feel like I was getting lost in the sound of the market.
Yeah.
Silence doesn't feel like silence.
Whew.
That's deep.
That's something. Yeah, like I think I love watching this stuff too. Like if I don't have the tools or if I'm just like, honestly, you know, art is my job. And I think it's pretty safe to say that sometimes when I want to unwind, even though this is often what I do to unwind, sometimes that's not ideal. So instead of doing it myself, why don't I just watch it? So if you're here just to watch, that's totally fine too. It can be very relaxing just to see the process come together, at least from what what Nick and Matt are telling me here. I'll put this guy here so that doesn't happen. Okay. let me know if you're following along and you're creating this with me. Let me know if you're starting to notice like a pattern in your decision and like, you know, the creative process, I guess. If you're starting to notice certain things about yourself while you're creating. And also, if you are starting to see recognizable images kind of form within the shapes as you add color. It'd be really interesting to hear. So yeah, please feel free to share. Also, something I really love to do with, you know, just relaxing art practices like this, therapeutic art practices, I like to put in an intention before I'm creating and also while I'm creating. Because, you know, it's like, it's a good mindfulness practice. I'm not gonna go all yogi on you guys and pretend like I know what I'm talking about with this stuff. But you know, when you put an intention into something, that has a lot of power, that holds power. And yeah, you can, you know, kind of like manifest things as you're creating. So it's really cool. If you have something going on in your personal life, which we all do at all times, I'm sure, put a nice intention into your artwork and give it some meaning. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, for example, like I just noticed something in myself. I told myself I wasn't going to, you know, worry about the colors and what colors I'm choosing. And even when I'm not paying attention, I'll choose a color, you know, depending on the colors that are around the areas I'm working in. Choose a color that's complementary. So, I thought that was interesting. Because even when I'm focusing on it not really looking good necessarily, just, you know, wanting to focus on the actual creative process and, you know, just relax for a little bit, I'm still trying to make it look good. I'm calling myself out for it. That way nobody else can.
Yeah, it's interesting how different colors can have different moods and feelings and can make you feel in
Yeah.
certain ways. And so especially when you're in the middle of something like so zen and relaxing like this, you're naturally drawn to different colors and vibes.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you can instinctually know, like, you know, what goes together and what doesn't and what you'd like to be going
Yeah.
together.
And that in itself can like make this a very good, not even just like a therapeutic art practice, but an art practice, you know, a creativity practice, a warm up even, or a warm down, cool down, warm down. Huh? Go again?
I think it's interesting if you're creating a journal, like a daily practice.
Oh,
And you look at the week and see if you change the color, are you sticking to the same colors?
Yeah.
Are the shapes smaller, larger when you have a good day, a bad day?
Oh, wow. All right, let me repeat that for the people in the back. Shirley.
She is the people in the back.
She is the people in the back. That she is. Now Oh God, now you threw me off. What did Shirley say? Make this a journal practice. Yeah.
Yeah, Shirley said make this a journal practice, and you can see based on how your day was throughout the week how the shapes may change and how the grouping of them, the colors may change, and just the overall feel of the images that you're creating based on
Yeah.
your days and weeks have gone, how it will reflect those things.
Yes. And also, that kind of like going off of that, when you, sorry, you know when people say, oh, just to piggyback off that, point, and I'm going to do it. You can think about what or how you're feeling, what your mood is before you start creating, and then reflect on how you feel after, once it's done. And kind of, see, like, did this help you? Like, it's just a good, like, mindfulness practice. If it helped, maybe incorporate it into your routine, or, whenever you start to recognize those same feelings. If you didn't enjoy it, if it was stressful for you, maybe dig a little deeper, find out why. And you know what? It's not for everybody. I'm confident enough to admit that. It's not for everyone. I understand. But try it. See how it goes. You never know. So we're like about to finish up. Shirley, any more like questions or comments and support?
No.
Nope. All right.
You're leaving that big blob uncolored?
I am. What?
It's free real estate. It's a bold move. Sure about that? It's a lot of
You
money.
sure? It's free real estate. No, I want it. It's mine. I decided to leave it blank, and I'm standing by that decision. I'm not going to let Nick Acevedo influence me. I had a great time making this. I'm relaxed. I actually am. This is a great wind down. I am, quite energetic, but I still feel, calmer, I guess. Well, maybe calm's not the right word. Less stressed out, less, overwhelmed. Feel like I'm brought back down to earth. And that was what, 20 minutes? What time is it?
About 30.
About 30 minutes. Okay. Well, you get lost in it. That's, what can I say? So I really hope that you enjoyed. If you, came just to watch, or if you created along with me, definitely share your artwork on Spaces. If you, oh my gosh, Space is not ready yet. When the time comes, because this, yes, very, very soon. When this is on demand on the app, hopefully we'll have Spaces. And if you watch back then, instead of watching it live, absolutely share your work, and maybe come back if you made some artwork today. Come back when it's an on-demand experience and you can share it there. What else? You can share it via support if you'd like. I'd love to see what you created if you join me. And yeah, I just appreciate you all taking the time to be with me here. And I appreciate everyone in the studio with me, even Nick. And yeah, I've got nothing else for you all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you all very soon.